I recently hosted an event in London, the purpose of which was to champion the message of the collaborative way of delivering construction projects and sharing how clients and builders need to be working together on the delivery of their projects in order to get the results that both sides want. Not just one or the other, both. We had some incredible speakers, incredible networking, some real experts from people that have been in the trenches and know exactly what it takes to deliver successful projects. At the end of that event, we had a question and answer panel with the speakers, and something happened that I'll never forget. One of the attendees stood up and asked a question. How much grace should I give my builder if he runs over time before I issue the fine? And the response from the speaker he posed the question to was this: somewhere between 0 and fuck all. I felt the room went a little bit quiet. People laughed, some nodded along, and other people looked a little bit uncomfortable. And I sat there, I was thinking to myself, that answer completely missed the point of this conference. Now, let's be clear, don't get me wrong. Contractually, the speaker was correct. It was, from a financial perspective, absolutely spot on. But here's the problem. If that's how you're approaching your construction project, you're a client or a builder, you're setting that scheme up for conflict. Delays, cost overruns, a shit experience, shit result for everybody involved. Because construction shouldn't be about contracts and clauses, it's about people. And when people stop working together and start working against one another, that is when projects start to fall apart. So in this video, I'm going to break down why this zero grace mindset is toxic, what real collaboration looks like, how both client and builder benefit when they work together, and the exact framework that I use to make sure that every project sets off on the right foot. Let's dive in. So here's why the contractual approach fails. Somewhere between 0 and fuck all, once again contractually correct. Practically, it's a disaster. Here's why. Because it creates an adversarial relationship from day one. When you approach a construction project with a zero grace mindset, you're not building a partnership, you're building a battleground. And it now becomes client versus builder rather than client and builder versus project. There's no trust, there's just legal protection. That will set the tone for the entire project. And the builder fully knows that one mistake and I'm going to get fucked. And the client knows, I can't trust this guy, so I've got to watch him like a hawk. It's no longer about delivering a great result for one another. It's about covering your ass and beating the other side. And this thinking just ignores the reality of construction. Delays, they happen. We've got weather delays, supply chain issues, unforeseen things happening and coming up and being exposed on the project, planning holdups. Not every delay is the builder's fault. And if truth be told, most of the time, it's completely outside of their control. But if your default response to a delay is let's fine them, which by the way is not legal, you're not solving the problem, you're punishing it. And when you punish people for things that they can't control, they will stop communicating with you. They'll stop flagging issues up early and they'll start hiding problems because they know that the second that they tell you, they're going to get hit with some sort of penalty. Now this destroys collaboration entirely. This is where your project will start to fall apart, because if the builder becomes defensive and the client becomes suspicious or offensive, communication is going to break down. And in this event, the builder's going to stop being proactive. He's going to stop being helpful. And because of that, the client will start micromanaging. And then the quality of the work will then suffer, just because everybody's too busy covering their ass. And we've now stopped focusing on getting in one another a great result. I've seen it happen over and over and over again during my career. I'm coming off the back of 3,000 projects and 300 million in revenue. And I've seen this happen too many times. A few years ago, I was consulting on a project where the client had this zero tolerance policy on delays. The contract was tight and every day of overrun resulted in £500 worth of damages. And that sounds fair, right? Except 3 weeks into the job, the builder uncovered a problem. He found asbestos inside the walls. It was completely unforeseen. Nobody knew it was there. The survey never picked it up. And they had to stop work immediately to bring in specialists and get it all disposed of. Now, any reasonable person would say, okay, it's not your fault. We get it. Let's figure out how to deal with this together. But this client, no, he stuck to the contract. And he waited till the end of the job before smashing him with a delay on overrun, just because the builder did not follow the contractual processes required in order to mitigate that delay. So he hit the builder with a penalty every single day. And do you know what happened? The builder stopped communicating, he stopped being helpful, he stopped flagging up issues, he stopped doing all those little favors that he was doing for the client upon delivery, and he started rushing the work to try and speed it up and bring back the losses. And that project went sideways. It's gonna do. Relationship destroyed. Quality dropped. And then the client ended up in a legal case with him, a legal battle in the courts that cost more than the penalties that he was actually gonna recover. Builder never again worked with that client, and he told every other builder in the area to avoid him like the plague. That's what zero grace gets you. A shit project, a damaged reputation, and nobody that wants to work with you. Okay, so if that doesn't work, then what does work? Let's talk about what a real collaboration looks like. What collaboration really means. Well, it's the principles of working together. Collaboration does not mean being a pushover. It's not about letting the builder or the client walk all over you. It's not about clients demanding the impossible and expecting you to deliver. It's about mutual respect and shared goals. Because here's the truth. Both sides, builder and client, have got skin in the game. They both need it to go well. Both sides want the same thing. The client wants quality work on time and on budget. The builder wants paying right, a clear scope, the client to do their bit, and a result where both sides win. The common goal, a successful project that both sides can be proud of. The one the client loves and the one the builder can use in their portfolio. One that leads to referrals, repeat business, other work, and building on a reputation for delivering great results. That's what collaboration's about. Communication is everything, and the foundation of collaboration is amazing communication. Not just chatting shit, not just talking, not just sending emails. Proactive, transparent, problem-solving communication. Having early warning systems in place so that we can flag an issue before it becomes an absolute disaster. Practicing transparency, not hiding problems and not having surprises. Problem-solving mindset, we're no longer saying whose fault is this, but now it becomes how do we fix this? Because when both sides communicate openly, you can solve problems together in the moment instead of fighting about them later. Giving grace does not mean that there's zero accountability. This is where people get confused. If I give them grace, they'll take the piss. If I give them grace, they think I'm letting them off the hook. Grace doesn't mean no accountability. And there's a massive difference between a genuine issue, like asbestos, weather, supply chain delays, and someone that's taking the piss. Not turning up late, turning up drunk, poor planning, poor quality, poor customer service, in corners. Collaboration means addressing problems together. And if it's a genuine issue, you work through it together. If someone's taking the piss, you hold them accountable. But that's different. Accountability in a collaborative relationship is fair. It's not punitive. It's about solving the problem and not punishing the person. And this is where my C.O.L.L.A.B framework comes in. It's a system that I use and teach to make sure that both client and builder are on the same page from day one. Here's what it stands for. C, communication first. Let's make sure from day dot that we establish open, transparent, collaborative, proactive lines of communication from the start. O, objectives. Make sure our objectives are aligned. Make sure both sides understand the outcome. Agree upon the goals for one another, not just eat. L, legal protection. Note I said protection and not warfare. Have a solid contract, but don't use it as a weapon. L, listen. Listen to understand, not just to respond. And actually hear what the other side is saying. A is accountability. Make it fair and not punitive. Hold people accountable for sure. Be reasonable about it. And last but not least, B, build trust. You build trust through your actions. Trust is never given, it's always earned. And it's earned by doing what you said you would do. One of my personal core values. That's the framework, and when you commit to it, you're in for a much more pleasurable ride on your next project. So what do you actually get from a collaboration? Let's break it down. The client gets better quality work. Your builder's not constantly worried about not getting paid or getting fined. You can focus on delivering quality, the actual thing you hired them for. They're not cutting corners to save time. They are invested in delivering a great service and product to you, purely because they know you're going to treat them fairly. Next, fewer delays, because collaboration means problems are flagged and solved early. So as an example, if the builder tells you, we've got an issue here, here's what we need to do. And then you'll work together to solve the issue. There's no surprises at the end to final invoice and saying, oh, by the way, we're 3 weeks behind. Next, you're going to get better value for money, not entering into any legal battles that eats into your margin. You haven't got the builder padding out their quotes with arse covering costs. And you won't be paying for rushed substandard work because the builder was too scared to ask for more time, knowing that there's going to be punitive damages thereafter. You're also going to create a builder that will come back. Something that, in my experience, most clients don't think of. Good builders avoid nightmare clients. And if you're known as someone that's difficult, unreasonable, or punitive, you're the type of person that smacks people for penalties, builders out there, they're not going to work with you. But if you're known as someone that's fair, someone that looks after their team, someone that's communicative, you're going to get first-class tradespeople on your jobs. First-class tradespeople that want to work with you. They'll prioritize your projects over others. Now for the builders, benefits to them, what they get. We've got clear expectations, no scope creep. No moving goalposts. You as the builder know exactly what's expected. Your client understands the realities of construction. You're going to get fair treatment if you're in a collaboration. You're not going to be punished for things outside of your control because you didn't tick a box or fill the right form in. You get paid in full and on time, and you're treated with respect. That carries a lot of value. When issues come up, you work through them together. Next is your reputation will become better. Because you've got happy clients, which equal referrals, which equals more work. And in a collaborative relationship, you're creating portfolio pieces that you're both proud of, and a reputation as someone that delivers results. Next, don't undervalue this. It's less stressful. You're not constantly watching your back. You're not hiding problems. You're not rushing to avoid penalties. And you get to focus on what you do best, and that is delivering quality work. I'll give an example of a collaboration when it's done right. I worked with a builder, we'll call him Dave. He was doing a full refurbishment project for a client, and 3 weeks in, they hit a problem. The drainage system was completely shot to shit and collapsed. Needed a full replacement, the entire thing. Now, in an adversarial relationship, Dave could have hidden that, could have covered it up, could have turned a blind eye, and then rushed the job and hoped it never came back to bite him in the arse. But instead, he called the client straight away, explained the problem, shown him the evidence, gave him the options. The client could have gone ballistic, could have started threatening with delays and stuff like that. Being unfounded, but it's still not a great position to be in. But instead, they just said, okay, what do we need to do? So they worked together, adjusted the timeline at large, and the client even helped out with sourcing the materials and offloading them from the wagon. The project finished 2 weeks later than what they'd planned. The quality was outstanding. The client was over the moon with the result, and they referred Dave to 3 other clients. And Dave, what did he do? What did he get? So he prioritized that client's next project because he knew that they were fair. He knew that they were reasonable. He knew that they were collaborative. And that's what collaboration gets for you. So how do you actually do this? Time to get practical. Here's exactly how to set a collaborative project from day one. So if you're a client listening, set realistic expectations and that construction timelines aren't tattoos or carved in stone. Weather happens, supply chains get destroyed, unforeseen issues come up. So do build a buffer into your schedule. If you need it done by June, tell the builder you need it done by May. Number 2, communicate openly. If something's not working, say it early. Don't wait till the end of a project to drop a bombshell. Like, I actually don't like that paint colour or them tiles. Or I thought he was going to do that a bit differently. Speak up, do it early, do it often. Number 3, trust but verify. Build trust with the builder and still check progress. But collaboration doesn't mean blind faith. It means I trust you to do great work. And I'm going to stay involved to make sure we're both aligned. Number 4, be flexible when it makes sense. If there's a genuine delay, work together on resolving the delay. Remember, grace isn't weakness. It's just smart project management. Okay, for the builders, under promise, over deliver. Do not ever commit to a timeline that you cannot hit, and always build in a time contingency for the unexpected. If you think it's going to take 8 weeks, say 10. Finish in 9 and be an absolute legend. Number 2, communicate proactively. This is a big one where most lack. Flag up issues before they become a problem. As soon as you know about it, communicate it. Nag with the electrics. These joists are rotten. The roof's had it. No surprises equals happy clients. Number 3, document everything. Variations, changes and delays. Put them in writing and make it form part of your reporting structure so the client knows exactly what's happening. Number 4, do what you said you would. Deliver on your word. If you said you'd do it, fucking do it. Collaboration only ever works if both sides keep their promises and do what they said they would. Let's walk through the C.O.L.L.A.B framework and see it in action. Communicate clearly first. Before the job starts, have a kick-off meeting. Lay out expectations. Agree on how you're going to communicate and when. Weekly updates, site visits, reports, email, whatever that might be. O, objectives aligned. Make sure you're both clear on the goals. What does success look like? What's non-negotiable? What's flexible? The L, legal protection. Remember, not legal warfare. Have a solid contract in place, but don't weaponize it. Use it as a safety net, not a sword. And the second L, listen to understand. When issues arise, actually listen. Don't just defend your position, listen to the other side, understand their position. A, accountability. Remember, be fair, not punitive. Remember, be fair, not punitive. Hold each other accountable, but be fair. If it's a genuine issue, work through it. If one or both sides thinks the other is taking the piss, address it. And the B, build trust through action. Do what you said you would. Show up, turn up, do the work. Communicate, deliver. Trust is built through consistent action. That's That's how you collaborate. Now let's be real for a second, not every client or builder is collaborative, some people are just difficult. You can't force collaboration on someone who doesn't want to collaborate. So here's some red flags to watch for clients when engaging with their builder. Unrealistic demands with no flexibility. Refusal to communicate or respond, or constant threats for legal action. For the builders, maybe dodging calls or emails. Missing deadlines with no explanation. Shoddy work or cutting corners. And when to walk away. Look, if collaboration's not working, just cut your losses. Call it a day. I promise you'll thank yourself for it in the future. It's better to end a project early than suffer through a nightmare. I promise you that right now. So for the clients out there, contractually make sure you do this, but fire the builder if they're not delivering. And for the builders out there, contractually do this too. Walk away from toxic clients. Your reputation and sanity are worth more than one job. Contracts still matter. I'm not saying they don't matter. I'm not saying that for a moment. In fact, they are absolutely essential. And collaboration doesn't replace good contracts. What it does though, is it enhances them. Of course, you still need legal protection, but if that's your only strategy, you're doing it wrong. So let's bring it back to why I started this video to begin with. And it was a comment of grace, somewhere between 0 and fuck all. And as a reminder, contractually, he was correct. But practically, that mindset is absolutely toxic. The zero grace approach creates conflict and destroys trust, and it will lead to shit results for both sides. That much I can guarantee. But collaboration, on the other hand, benefits both sides. We're both working towards a common goal. We're both going to get the result that we're looking for. Better quality, less delays, stress, more referrals, more repeat business. Remember, this is not about being soft. It's not about rolling over. It's about being smart. So here's my challenge to you. Look, if you've watched this to the end, I'd really genuinely thank you. So right now, if you're a client, ask yourself this question. Am I setting my builder up to be successful, or am I setting him up to fail? And if you're a builder, ask yourself this question. Am I communicating proactively, or am I hoping that problems just go away? Because the best projects, those that finish on time and on budget, and with everybody happy getting the results they were looking for, they don't happen by accident. They happen because both parties worked together rather than against one another. And to sum that up into one word, that is, they are collaborative. Now look, if you've watched this far, I want to invite you to the next PropCon event. If you want to learn more about collaboration in this space, in construction or in property development, and hear from real-world experts with real lived experience who actually get this, then you can join me at PropCon 2026 in Manchester. This event is where clients and builders will come together to learn, network, and do business with one another and change the game. All of the details you can find in the description below. And if this video made sense or resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, please do me a massive favor and hit subscribe and drop me a comment below telling me what's your biggest challenge with collaboration in construction. I read every single comment and I'll respond to every single one. So once again, final call, PropCon 2026 in Manchester. You can find all the details in the description below. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for listening.